Hello and welcome to a little seaside town called Melkbosstrand, north of Cape Town. We've come here for a very specific reason because the car I'm driving is called the California Special. So we thought palm trees, beaches, cruising down a beachside boulevard. So if you want to know many things about the California Special, you've come to the right place. But if you've got a busy day, let me summarize this for you. I've been lucky to drive just about every new car that's hit the market for the last 18 years. And it's had a certain effect on me. It's sort of made me only interested in old cars. However, every now and then, a new car comes along that makes me want to steal the keys from my colleague, take the expense card, fill it with petrol, and just disappear. And that car, ladies and gentlemen, is this Mustang. Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za. So there are a lot of speed bumps on this beachfront road, but I'm not bothered because I'm in my Mustang cruising around with a burble of that naturally aspirated V8 coming from the exhaust, following me around. Another speed bump. So forgive me if I do my dialogue over some speed bumps. I usually try time my dialogue so I don't hit the speed bump on camera, but if I try to do that today, I'll never finish this film. And I'm currently cooking in here because we can't run the aircon because you'll hear it on camera. Yeah, everyone thinks my job is so easy. So, you may be asking, why has the Mustang California Special, this 10-year-old car, this run-out design, which is not just a sticker pack, thankfully, why has it captured my heart and my soul like this? Well, I think our new MD, Amasi Mwela, put it perfectly, hit the nail on the head. Gave him the car to drive for a day while he was in Cape Town, and he said that thing is a four-wheel version of a Harley Davidson. Now, let me be clear, I do not want a Harley Davidson. Actually, I can't stand the things, they annoy the crap out of me. However, a Harley Davidson is famous around the world and sells in great numbers because it has enormous character. And that is what this car has in spades. In a world of clinical dual clutch or ZF torque converter turbocharged smaller engines, this car has character by the bucket load. Our Lord and Savior, Jeremy Clarkson, once put it perfectly when he said that if a machine is perfect, a human and the machine can't bond. A human cannot relate to a perfect machine. However, if a machine has foibles, has such a great word, foible, if it has idiosyncrasies, if it has problems every now and then that you have to solve, then the machine becomes human. It gets closer to our human nature, and then you can bond with it. And that is what is actually special about this Mustang. It's not perfect. It's quite far from it, actually. But in not being perfect, it gets under your skin. Have you ever met someone sort of late in life? Well, a lot of you are youths, so maybe you can't relate. But you meet someone for the first time and you kind of just know you're gonna be friends. And you get to know each other better, and eventually you just really want to spend time with that person. That's the Mustang. It's sort of added value to my life in a weird way. We've had it as a long-termer, and I don't want to give it back. I really don't. In fact, I'm going to be quite sad when this car goes, because this is one of the only brand new cars out the box that I'd spend my own money on right now. So what are we dealing with here? 5-liter V8, 330 kilowatts. Don't remember the torque figure. Dwayne, please put it on the screen for me. 0 to 100, I don't actually care. Top speed, couldn't care less. It is a 5-liter NA V8 in a world where those just don't exist anymore. Yes, you could call it a dinosaur, but I don't mind. I like these old dinosaur cars. This is what I'm buying for myself. This is what I'm looking for. rear wheel drive, lots of wheel spin all the time, chirps its tires all the time, pretty tail happy, not great throttle response, powers at the top end. It is basically the antithesis of something like a BMW M4, which interestingly, by the time you spec an M4, you are at about double the price point of this Mustang. You get one of these for about 1.2, brand new out the box, which makes it one of the cheapest, most powerful, largest engines, two-door cars available on the market today. And I mean, how can you not see the value in that? And then on top of that, you have, it's just so beautiful. It gets so much attention. This is a 10-year-old design. And wherever you go, people stare at it and want to chat to you about it, ask you to rev it and try race you at the traffic lights, which I don't really recommend. I mean, that is the mark of a successful design. It's aged so well. And the other day, I left the office and Hannes, my esteemed colleague, was in this and he was behind me in my rearview mirror and he overtook me. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty car. That is a good looking car. And in this color with these wheels, it just hits the spot for me. I mean, style is subjective, but I love it. So as much as I love this car, one of my colleagues, esteemed racing driver, Ashley Oldfield, well, well, let's ask him. Hey man, so this Mustang.
It's a no from me, eh?
But do you have a technical reason why you don't like it, or is it like a more philosophical problem?
It's both of those things. Both of those things make it a no from me. It's too loud, it's too shouty. Everywhere you arrive, I'm here, and then you leave, I'm leaving, crowd, get out the way. And then, yeah.
Is it though, is it not just a beautiful dinosaur in this motoring climate we have? Is it not like the antithesis of a European hard-edged sports car? Or is that the exact reason why you don't like it?
It's a reason why I don't like it, for sure. I think it's very popular. It's the most popular sports car in the world, so there is a market for it. But it doesn't do anything well apart from be brash, too loud, and annoying. Like, there's got to be more to it than that, surely, but there isn't. There's not like any like dynamism. The interior is made from bits of Tupperware. Like, the leather doesn't feel great. There's nothing inspiring to it inside. And like then when you get to driving it, it's the opposite of dynamic. If there is undynamic a word, it is undynamic.
So I think in summary here, the reasons you hate it are the reasons I love it.
And that's cool though. There's a sports car for you to go slowly and everywhere, and there's a sports car for me to enjoy.
Good chat, man. Yeah.
Please, as you leave here, we're in Melkbos. This is a quiet seaside village.
Okay.
He's not gonna hit it. He's gonna rev it. He's gonna rev it. He's gonna annoy the residents. There it is. Every Mustang owner has to leave. He hates me. Ciro hates me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. It's like every Mustang owner leaves any area, every parking lot. I'm just enjoying my seaside here and this guy comes along.
Right, good chat, Ash. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day. The thing is, as much as I respect Ashley's opinion, it doesn't affect me because I love this car and no one's going to change my mind. And the reasons why Ash doesn't like it are correct. He's not wrong, as usual. But the reasons why Ash doesn't like it are the same reasons why I really like it. This is not a German hardcore sports car. It is the antithesis of something like a BMW Z4 or a BMW M4 or even something like a Toyota Supra, which are all sharp, darty, hardcore, hard-edge sports cars. The Mustang doesn't care about that. It's comfortable, it doesn't handle as well as the others, although the handling over the years with the suspension improvements has actually got pretty good, not gonna lie. But Ford did not set out to build a German coupe here. That's not what their home market wants. The home market of America wants a cheap V8 sports car. By the time it lands in South Africa, of course, it's not exactly cheap, but as I've said, compared to everything else in the market, it's really good value. And if you consider that that was the design brief and that was what the Ford engineers were aiming for and the accountants, then they absolutely nailed it. This car is an excellent GT. When you're just cruising around town and listening to the massive sound system, subwoofers appeal to the Edenvale 17-year-old in me. Love a subwoofer. Everything I've spoken about comes standard on this car. Don't have to spec a thing. And I've enjoyed crawling around town as much as I've enjoyed long distance cruising. But this is the sort of car where you can just eat up highway miles. And the petrol consumption gets better, which is helpful. But if you're interested, we're averaging 15 to the 100. It's a Mustang, no one cares. Now, you may be asking again, Ciro, there must be something wrong with the Mustang. All you've done is praise it and tell us how much you love it. Well, there is one quite large flaw, and that is the 10-speed gearbox. So Ford developed this 10-speed, I think, for the Ranger. It's the same one you get in the Ranger Raptor. I've driven the Ranger Raptor a lot, and the gearbox works in there. I'm not sure why that engine and this gearbox are just good mates. They just hang out really well together. And even though it's 10 speeds, for some reason the Raptor just always seems to be in the right gear, which is the opposite of the Mustang. Yeah, this engine and this gearbox, I have a feeling the accountants won this war. I don't know if the engineers would have been too happy about this. So I have two problems with this 10-speed gearbox. One, it's clunky and it gets a bit confused in traffic. On the open road, obviously fine, it just sits in 9th or 10th gear. The other thing I don't like about 10 speeds is who needs 10 speeds? I don't think anyone ever was like, oh yes, I don't want 6 or 8 gears or 7, I would like 10. I've never thought that personally. And so when you're sort of in 10th and you want to hit the flappy paddles and like get down to say like 3rd, it's like click, 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 3rd. There we go. I'm in 3rd now. I can accelerate. I just find it unnecessary. And what I found fascinating is that when you go out of normal drive and you go down into sport, the gearbox gets worse. So I find quite impressive. It gets clunkier, the shifts get a bit harder, it's a little bit more exciting, but you still have the problem of having 10 speeds and not knowing where you are in the gearbox half the time. And you know how you drive a lot and you sort of develop a feel for ratios, and every car is a little bit different, but you kind of know what 3rd does, right? You kind of know what 4th does, you know what 2nd does, you know what 6th does. But with 10 speeds, like where is 3rd in the sort of, you know, normal world of ratios on this box? What does 5th do? Is 5th 3rd? Is 3rd 5th? What's 9th? What does 9th do? Is 9th 6th? God, it feels like I'm back in fucking trigonometry here. A quick word on the interior. When this Mustang came out a long time ago and I filmed it, a younger, thinner version of me with more hair, we'll link to that somewhere maybe. The interior was a bit crap, actually, very plasticky, and they've sort of refined it over the years. It's still not the best interior you're ever going to get, and some of the switchgear looks quite cheap, actually, and doesn't look like it's going to last very well. But it's still better than when it came out. It feels like they've made constant improvements, and the interior is fine for me. I'm not bothered. It does what it needs to do, although I don't know why the steering wheel needs 100 buttons on it. Like, I don't even know what half of these do. I haven't used 3/4 of them. So yes, the Mustang does have drive modes like other sports cars. You flick through them using this cool sort of old-fashioned switchgear, which looks a little bit cheap if I'm honest, but I like the design. The button only goes up, funnily enough, so you cycle through the modes like this. Snow and wet is useful for slippery conditions, really is. This car's tail happy most of the time, so that helps a lot. You've got normal, my mode, sport plus, racetrack, drag strip, and all the dials change in front of you, and then back to normal. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm not particularly familiar with these modes because I don't care about them. I think I've used them once. For me, that's not what this car is about, and I'm sure the Sport Plus mode sharpens up the throttle and a couple of other parameters, and you can change the steering mode independently: normal steering, sport steering, comfort steering. Couldn't care less. I haven't even touched that. Actually, I'm quite surprised that that button's actually there. What I find more interesting than all the drive modes is the active exhaust. So you hit the running horse button, the striding pony, I just made that up, I don't know what it's called, but you press that button on the steering wheel, you get a couple of little gauges and track apps in front of you. One of them is exhaust mode. You get 4 modes: quiet, normal, sport, and racetrack. So if you live in a complex and you don't want to annoy your neighbors, before you start the car, you can put it in quiet mode, and then you won't get that startup. But if you don't do that, then the normal startup is wonderfully loud and bassy. Love it. I have this motto: save the V8s. And I think when the world has gone electric and everything is a 1-liter turbo, I really do think naturally aspirated V8s are going to be sought after. There's just something so wonderful about driving a naturally aspirated car, and it's becoming a thing of the past. So long live this formula, long live the Mustang, long live the V8. I don't see many people dailying a Mustang, although you could, I would. So I don't know how much mileage you're going to do in it, and I don't think the fuel consumption is going to actually bother you that much if it's just a weekend car. But what I've come to realize is this Mustang is a massive to everything that the Germans stand for, and brands like Jaguar with their F-Type and that sort of thing, you know, in a polite way, if this can be polite. But think about it this way: the M4 is like that perfect architect, wears a polo neck, has very expensive spectacles, goes on skiing holidays in Switzerland. His 2 daughters both excel at the cello. That's the BMW M4. The Ford Mustang V8, this California Special, is a rock star. It's got pipes from heaven, an amazingly powerful voice. It's maybe a little bit podgy around the edges, like me. He's a little unsteady on his feet when he's leaving a venue. Definitely drinks too much, but is an absolute riot. And you tell me which of those 2 guys you want at your braai. Right, thanks very much for watching. I kind of realized that this is a not very useful review of the Mustang, but we've had it for 3 months, and as you've probably gathered from this video, I don't want to give it back. I love this thing. It's so refreshing in the age of motoring that we have now. So this review was a bit emotional, but I'm a bit emotional about this car, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. We have over 800 videos for you to watch. Cars.co.za has over 75,000 cars on our site and on our app right now for you to go browse through. If you don't have our app, get it in your Huawei store, Apple store, Android store. It's completely free. I use it every single day of my life, and much to my girlfriend's annoyance. looking for cars. We'd love it if you shared the video as well. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Ciro de Siena. That was a speed bump. Be safe. Bye. See you on the next one. Cars.co.za. Are you busy trying to decide between 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars? We have an excellent compare tool on our site which will help you make sense of all the different pricing and all the different specs. You'll find it on our main site as well as in our app. It's super slick, it's easy to use, it's highly detailed, it's constantly updated with the latest information and pricing, and I can guarantee you it'll make your life a ton easier. Check it out on our website, link in the description below.
You deserve insurance that doesn't faff around. Budget, the official insurer of good South Africans.